All right, so what's good, everyone? Yeah, this is going to be a quick live. I'm not going to go that long in this live stream. Um, well, I don't plan on going long, so it just depends. Yeah, so I just want to make this quick, just to tell you guys something. You already see the title. Um, One thing I'm starting to realize as I get older is everything needs to be about especially in these times. We're not talking about 15, 20 years ago. We're talking about especially in these times. It's always should be like this, but it's very crucial in these times to make everything about business. And business doesn't always mean money. It doesn't always mean shit dealing to do with having to do with the system. You'll see these other dumbass astrologers talk about Capricorn rules the system, it rules business, but whereas that's not what Capricorn rules, like you attaining your goals and doing what it takes to get there, like the discipline, the structure. Anybody that wants to just correlate astrology with certain things, like they'll say the sixth house rules health, where in reality it rules um, you the function it rules what health represents. Like it's you got to look at it the broader scale of things. Like before there was business, there was the Capricorn sign, still there was that energy. So the reason I'm saying all this is when I say business, I don't mean business as in money. I just mean business as in just getting your shit. So nowadays when you're dealing with people, it needs to be all about business. You got to be very careful, like that you're not dealing with individuals or even situations in certain things and entertaining them, and it's not about business. And like I said, business isn't. Oh, I have to keep reiterating this because like you got idiots out here that are gonna assume like, oh, it means money or you just about money. No, I'm not just about money. I fucking hate money. Doesn't mean I don't have it or I don't do things to go and make it. I just don't fucking like it. I hate it, and I don't really fuck with anybody who's about money, especially if you don't have money. Like I hate people who complain about money. That's one of the things that even if you watch my videos, that's one of the things that get me more angry. One of my most annoyances is people who always complain about not having money or people who always talk about having a lot of money. Like just shut the fuck up and live your life. So like I just want to make that like I'm not about business on that type of level, but you guys see what you see where I'm going at with this. But like I'm realizing like as I'm dealing with motherfuckers, because I be out and I be very observant and I be just dealing with people on a daily basis, and when I go out and do certain things, and it's just like it's so weird. Like you gotta just realize like most people are retarded. Like when I make my videos and I talk about like European and the white man, like it's not just the white man and the European. And I have to keep reiterating that because it'll make it seem like everything, all the problems of the world is just because of white people, and that's not the reason. Like it, white people contribute a lot towards it, but it's not because I when I'm out and about, I see like I was dealing with this African bitch, and like I didn't want to cuss her the fuck out because I was like she didn't do nothing for me to cuss her out, but I was so close to cussing her ass out, and like it just made me realize like this not it, like the mental illness and people program. You gotta understand this goes through all races, and like when I was dealing with this bitch, it made me realize like when I was talking to her, I told her like if you don't have any business to attain with me, please keep it the fuck moving. I kept telling her that because like how you able to stay focused in life is always ask yourself, what am I gonna get from this interaction? What is this person gonna give me? What is this person gonna do for me? And I know it's gonna seem like it's selfish and you're being a like they'll say, oh, you're selfish, you want people to do stuff for you. I don't want nobody to do shit for me. is if you're not gonna do shit for me, get the fuck out my fucking face. That's the energy I have. Like if you're not gonna do shit for me, get the fuck out my face. Um, and that's the way it is. I'm not asking you to give me money, but if I need money and I ask you for money and you say no, you don't have to give me money. I'm not gonna force you to give me money, but I'm gonna be like, get the fuck out my face. Don't talk to me because you don't got shit to offer me. You see what I'm saying? Like so, I always ask myself, what is the reason for me to even be dealing with this person, place, or thing? And if it's not bringing me no physical benefit, then this is where I just simply cut energy ties with that thing and make everything about business. If you can't help me reach what I'm trying to attain, which is business, so if I'm trying to get muscle and I want to learn how to get muscle, you want to go to the gym, you're going to deal with a trainer. So that's business. They're trying to help you get somewhere. If you're in the gym and the person's talking about something that isn't important and is distracting you, then that's not business. So, like I said, business doesn't always correlate to money. People like that, you need to get them the fuck out of your life because they're not bringing you nothing in your life. And sometimes the spirit will do shit. The spirit will clean people from your life for you if you're not doing it yourself. Like there was an individual that was on my live stream, or he was on. He used to join my live streams and do all the and leave fake ass comments and shit. And the funny thing is I had dreams of me arguing with this individual, and I didn't really take heed to it. I just, and even before the dream, I always will have negative energy, but yet I used to question, like, I used to question myself subconsciously, like, why would I have negative energy? And this person never was disrespectful, but this was the spirit letting me know for, for telling me in the future that this person's a piece of shit. And long and behold, certain situations happen that show that that person's a piece of shit. So nowadays, when I have certain intuitive energies and thoughts, I automatically go by them, and I don't question them at all, because if you start questioning your thoughts, then you waste time, and then you end up able to set yourself up in a position that can like bite you in the ass. So this is why I'm very, very um mindful. Like, what is, I always ask myself, what is this situation gonna help me do? What is this person gonna bring? What is this thing gonna do for me? If it's not gonna do nothing for me, then you cut it off. There's not even there's no reason to even get disrespectful. There's no reason to fight or hurt anyone. It's not even that. Just simply just cut it off and move on, because you fighting, you hurting somebody, you cussing them out, all of that is draining your energy and it's wasting your time. Like, you can use that same 5 minutes you use to cuss somebody out to create a plan to get in a better situation from your current situation. That's minutes. That's 5 minutes. That those minutes can add up. So that's why you have to be very like cautious now. It's not because most people right now, like, they just have a lot of ego, a lot of people, and then they want to project that you have an ego, where it's like, if you're in my vicinity to say I have an ego, if you're in my area to even tell me there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with you, because why are you watching my shit? You see what I'm saying? Like, you can just leave and not watch my shit. So it shows you that there's something in you that you trigger them, so they feel like they gotta say something. So people like that, they don't even need your attention, because them interacting with someone they don't like, it just shows. So like, this is why I make everything about business, so I don't get lost in reacting or engaging in something and wasting my time, because I'm like, I always ask myself every day, what is this person, what is this thing, what is this bringing me? And don't get me wrong, when it comes to certain things, like, it's good to have fun, it's good to do certain things and have leisure time. I'm not talking about leisure time having fun doing things. I'm talking about, like, if it's something that you know, like, something that you don't want to do, or something that's bringing you a certain negative energy, and you know it's not warranted, you need to ask yourself, what does it bring? Because sometimes people can get lost in that shit. So I'm not talking about leisure things, because sometimes you may go and do things that is like fun, just to have fun and relax, and it may not bring you nothing at that point, but it's something that you're doing just to have fun. And even then, you don't want to overdo certain things. So it's always want to keep the balance. But I'm talking about just things that don't bring you good, but then you may get lost and waste time. Like a lot of people been in relationships, they waste time. They be in a relationship with females, and they'll be doing it just because like they want to do it just to be in a relationship. They need to be with somebody. You don't want to waste your time doing that shit, because none of that in the end is just gonna bite you in the ass. So make everything about business. I'm realizing you have to make everything about business. And then once you do that, you start to realize how much people don't have no business to attain to. Motherfuckers just trying to psych up their ego. They're trying to project their own issues, and you realize that. Because I'm seeing like it's weird. Because like I'm seeing a lot of like shit, like people I used to know personally, and they just crashing out and going through a lot of shit. It's weird, and I'm thinking it's the energies. So that's why like I'm just telling you guys like we're at a time right now where you need to just be careful who you fucking dealing with. Shit's crazy. I'm gonna drop the link if anybody's trying to join. Yeah, they banned my page though, so I'm gonna be on this page until I think they got 3 more days. It's funny. Thank goodness the days are going by fast. It's already been a week almost. It feels like yesterday I just got the page banned. Hopefully they don't change it to like 3 weeks or 2 weeks in a year, because if the time keeps speeding up, they may change it where you get banned every 2 weeks or something just to balance it out. Because I'm like, damn, I'm already halfway through, so 3 more days I'll be on my other channel, which is good. Oh, I didn't even push. Oh crap! I put the link if anybody wants to join. Yeah. But I'm probably gonna upload on this page every now and then. I'm gonna upload. I'm gonna upload on this page. Hmm. Yeah. And I can't. And then when I go on my other page, like, I'm gonna have to be very careful what I say. It's funny how like I said I was gonna be careful and not really entertain any more bullshit. And as soon as I said that, and as soon as they ban my channel, then the bitch wants to start leaving posts and like leaving videos and shit. And then like it's like, but I'm not gonna even respond to it, because me, when I respond to something, I end up getting very disrespectful. It's hard for me to kind of like maintain my shit. It's very hard to maintain my shit. That's another reason you want to make sure everything's about business, because this is how a lot of people end up getting shot. They end up getting killed. A lot of women in the relationship, they end up getting their trunk put in a body, their body put in a trunk, because the man was dealing with somebody they shouldn't have been dealing with. They're dealing with somebody toxic. So the toxic female attracted a toxic man to go upside her head and then have her ass put in a trunk and then beat senseless. She attracted that. The man attracted that situation because he was dealing with somebody who had no business, and vice versa. She was dealing with somebody, and in a situation where now the guy's in jail. That's a bad situation. The females in the trunk got her ass beat. That's a bad. Both have bad situations, because you're not dealing with people within the business. You have to deal with people while dealing with business, because if you don't, then this leads a situation where somebody gets hurt, and each ends of the spectrum, it all comes from you dealing with people, and it's not about business. And business does not mean money. I have to keep saying that. I don't mean money, because I don't want motherfuckers to think I'm some like person who care. Like, I'm not no financial guru. I don't give a fuck about your finances. There's people for that. I don't like money. I hate it. Doesn't mean I don't do things to make it, but I'm not a person who's like that. But when it comes to money and shit, like so, I'm just going to reiterate that any stupid motherfucker that thinks business solely means of making money or having a storefront and selling product and goods, they're an idiot. Like money or business goes beyond business is what you're doing to attain your daily goals. So if my goal is to lose 300 pounds and I'm working towards losing 300 pounds, that's business. That's what business means. Even when you have a business with money, your goal is to hit this type of profit by the end of the year. You're doing things to hit the profit, like sell goods, sell products. You see what I'm saying? So that's business. Business is reaching a goal. Business does not solely have to do with money. In order to even make money, you have to have your own business taken care of. You can't even make money unless you have your own business taken care of. That's why there's so many people bitching and complaining about money, because 99% of people who complain about money, they don't need money. I would say like 90%. They don't need money. A person who's in Africa starving and they're in like a third world country, and it's very they need money more than somebody who's living in America who works a 9 to 5 and they living paycheck to paycheck. You don't need money, bitch. You need to get your fucking mind and your spirit right. So therefore you won't need to work that shitty ass job. If you're in America and you're working a 9 to 5 and you're living check to check, your ass don't need money. You need to get your spirit and you need to get your mind right. That's what it is. And your spirit and your mind right is the reason why you're in that situation. Especially like if you're in a first world country and you complain about finances, shut the fuck up, nigga. That's the reason. Because every single person I see in a first world country, damn near every single person, if not every single person I see in a first world country that bitches and complains about finances and money is a fucking idiot when it comes to other aspects of their life, such as taking care of their spirit, their mind, and other things, and body, and other. They don't take. So therefore, it plays out like, oh, they don't have no, they're living check to check, or there's just some stupid dumb shit. Like they can't pay this type of bill. Not to say that, oh, like, because it's not even about, oh, are you able to pay bills, and like fuck all that stupid shit. It's even if you didn't, even if you're homeless on the street, are you worried about not being homeless, or are you worried about taking care of your spirit and your mind, which is gonna by default create opportunities for you not to be homeless? So it's not saying, oh, like, oh, you need money, or I'm in a position where I have money, or like, no, bitch. Even if you were to not have anything, you still have something. You never strip from shit. As long as you're breathing, you have everything you need. And when you have that mindset, then that's what you need. That's how you get out of your fucking situation. Motherfuckers that bitch and complain about shit, and they're complaining and they're not in a fucked up situation where it's really, really bad. And really, I don't think there's any situation bad enough where you can't get right unless you're not even breathing no more. Because at that point, you physically can't use the body to better you can't use your mind to better the physical body, because your mind isn't in the body no more. Like, it's outside the body. It's not operating the body. So at that point, that's it. But if you have a body, you have what it takes. So, and then, like I said, everything I'm telling you, this isn't for you to just go and start preaching this shit to your family, your friends. You don't. There's no more preaching no more. Like, I'm talking to people who know. If you're like somebody who doesn't know, or you're still, first of all, if you're even like in 2025 looking up self-help videos, I kind of look at question you either know what you need to do and you're just watching it for entertainment, or you're a fucking degenerate idiot moron. It's either or. You're watching it for entertainment and you know what to do, but you just like to watch it just for entertainment, or you're a fucking idiot. Because how you grown, and you're like, and then that's what I'm realizing too. Like so that's what, like, when I see kids that are like younger, like, that's why I'm gonna stop hating too much on Gen Z. The only reason is because a lot of Gen Z, because at the end of the day, like, because I was talking with this one nigga, right, and I thought he looked hella old, like he looked like he was around my age, and the way he was talking, he was like retarded, and it was pissing me off. I'm like, how you a grown ass man and you talking and acting like this, nigga? But then I realized the nigga was like in his early 20s, like, and I'm like, once I realized that, I had actually grace. I was like, okay, he doesn't know they're young. So I be kind of thinking because a lot of these motherfuckers be looking older because I look young for my age. A lot of people be looking older. So when I see somebody who I'm assuming is my age and they acting like an idiot, it gets me hella annoyed. And then I treat them accordingly. But then I realize, okay, this person's young. So no matter how much they look, their brain isn't developed. So they're gonna be an idiot on certain things. So you got to give them grace. So that's one thing I'm realizing like a lot of that's why I'm like because I be talking shit about Gen Z, which I do get, but a lot of these motherfuckers like they have a lot of retarded ass. They don't have no fucking like um people to. Well, I don't want to say because I've never had no role model in my life. I can never say it because I don't want to say they have no one to look up to, but most people, not that many people are intelligent like me and have my mind. So most people they need some type of role model, which I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. At the end of the day, I can say that I do have some type of like, for example, if I need my toilet fixed, I need somebody who can fix toilets. So that plumber is my role model to fix my toilet. So I don't want everyone has some type of role model. I don't know how to fix toilets. I'm gonna go call a plumber. I look at him as a role model for fixing my toilet. So if I every time I need my toilet fixed, I'm gonna call my plumber role model. So I don't want to say, oh, people having a no. It's good to respect people who are doing what they do. So I don't want to I don't really say that, but at the same time, like most Gen Z, they don't have no fucking like role model or nobody that they can look at and take an example from because the boomers are retarded, millennials they're retarded. Uh, so it's like this is why they don't respect the adults because most Gen Z see boomers and millennials as their peers. They see boomers like who the fuck is you? You niggas don't know shit because boomers really can't talk because they were in a situation they were in a time where everything was easy and it was given to them. They were able to make like 50 grand a year and have everything paid for. They didn't have all these bullshit games. Even with the degree shit, there's people that got degrees that can't get work. You're able to get work back when the boomers were in college and then throughout the 90s and 80s and shit. It was like hella easy. So and then they can pay for shit. So they got a lot of shit solidified. They bought houses cheap, and then the houses are worth hella more now than they were before. So it's like it's ridiculous. But like this is not for you to go and preach to anyone because like I said, most people are fucking idiots. Like really. Most people in this world are idiots. Most people they don't want to understand. Everyone's capable of understanding. Most just don't want to understand. So you can't preach like I said, I always like to make this example. You can't talk to a cat and tell a cat how to pay your taxes and file TurboTax and uh, do this and how to roll a blunt, how to file documents and go to the court and act like you can't tell the cat to do certain shit. Go to the court, file some documents for your lawsuit, and file your taxes for you. A cat would never understand it because they don't have the mental brain capacity to relay that. You can't relay that type of information to a cat because they don't have the brain neurons, the capacity, and the organs to process that information and to act it out. You see, so when you're talking to most human beings and you show them my video or you tell them like Jesus doesn't exist or the pandemic was a hoax or um, certain things, even when I talk about money and bettering yourself and how anybody in a first world country that complains about money isn't their issue. They have other issues and money is a symptom. Once you tell these niggas this, they're not gonna understand you because they don't have the organ, the brain organ, and the same capacity to to take in that information. So you to you it makes sense. To me it makes sense, but when you talk to them, it's like you're explaining a cat on how to fucking play some type of um guitar, or you're telling a cat on how to file some taxes or how to put up some drywall. Like a cat will never be able to do such things. So you can't expect humans to be able to take in information because just because somebody looks human doesn't mean they're thinking on the same level as you. Everyone is human because There's no such thing as no aliens or any of that dumb shit or no reptilian. There's none of that stupid ass shit. People who talk like that are retarded. Everyone is a fucking stinking ass fucking human, but their brain capacity may they act like a reptile or an alien. When they talk about reptile or alien, it's not an actual reptile or alien. It's you're fucking retarded. So if you're very retarded, then you're an alien. You're a reptile because a reptile is like you're in your desires. That brain, it's not even a reptile. You don't have a reptilian brain. If you fucking act like a reptile because your stupid ass can't get your emotions in check, so you act like a fucking reptile. There ain't no reptilian part of the brain. That's some dumbass dude. What the fuck? Am I a reptile or am I a human? You fucking idiot. It's like you calling a cat has a human, the human part of the cat's brain. That doesn't make sense. But why a human being has a reptilian? Does a reptile have a human part of the brain? How does a human being have a reptilian part of the brain? But go to a fucking snake or a iguana. Go to a snake or an iguana and tell that snake or an iguana, do you have a human part of the brain? And does that snake or iguana able to process emotion or do something like a human? You gotta the iguana's gotta like not your people look at you like you're retarded, but somehow it's the other way around. So you gotta understand, people are stupid like a reptile. They're unaware and their brain is alien, like an alien. So they don't think like a normal human being is supposed to think. Because you're a spirit in a human body. So since you're in a human body, you're supposed to be a human. If you were a spirit in a cat body, then you'd be a cat. If you're a spirit in a fucking orangutan, you'll be a fucking orangutan because that's the body you're in. You have to act the body out. Just like you're not gonna go put on a fucking dress and be a man, otherwise they're gonna call you a weird fuck. You see what I'm saying? People gonna look at you like a weird fuck because you're not in the right body doing what that body entails. So you can't you got to understand people are just stupid, so you can't relay my information or any normal information to the average Joe because they're not going to take it in because their brain doesn't, they're just a stupid human. That comes to my video. Only deal with people who are about business. And shout out to Ralph. Only deal with people on a business basis. If it's not on no business, fuck them. Especially going into this shift. We're in a new shift right now. Everything that you think is important is not important no more. I'm letting you guys know. Everything you think is, that's probably gonna be my first live stream on my new channel. Well, not my new channel, but my channel when I get it. Everything you think is important right now is not important. The only things important is internal and spiritual and what you're doing to better yourself. Everything that you think is important physically, that shit ain't important. Because we going into a new shift where what you think is important is just gonna you're gonna realize it within like 6 months that nothing is important and what the fuck you got to do every day to better yourself. Not to say that things are gonna collapse, things are gonna go. Collapse doesn't always have to mean things just disappear, even though a lot of things are gonna be disappearing. A lot of these businesses and shit. Don't get me wrong, but collapse doesn't just mean that. Collapse means that it could still be here, but you don't look at it the same way. If if let's just say let's just say a movie was released and it was popular, but then a year later everybody hates it and it's nobody's buying it no more. That movie collapsed. It's still here, but how people look at the movie isn't like it was before. Like a one-hit wonder. Everyone loved the song, but then the song was lame and it sucks now. That song collapsed. It still exists, but how people perceive it is like it's a piece of shit, so nobody fucks with it. So collapse doesn't always mean it disappeared. Collapse means people don't fuck with it and people mentally perceive it from a different awareness. So you're looking at it from a different awareness than you were prior to looking at it. That's a collapse. So there's going to be a lot of collapse, mental collapse, so that people are going to be looking at things differently than they were because we're going into a new shift. So the way people think is going to change. And just because they don't make it seem like everyone's going to get intelligent, that doesn't mean shit. It's just everyone's going to everyone's mind is going to change. It's like you're not intelligent because you know how to eat. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's something you just know how to do. If you didn't know how to eat, then that's an illness, that's a sickness, and you'll have to go to some type of place to teach. But you're not intelligent because you know how to fucking eat. So when people know, when this new shift comes and more knowledge comes in, you got to look at it like it's not knowledge. Like people are going to be more smart. It's just everyone's just going to be able to see things differently because we're in a different energy, and when we're in a different energy, we feel, we see, and we think differently. That's why 2025 doesn't feel like 2009 because it was a different shift, different energy, different astrology. Everything was different. Not just because, oh, it was 2009 and then things change over time. No, bitch. It's the energy around it. That shit changes. That's what makes it. So that you got to keep that shit in mind. So this is why I say make sure everything's about business. Not even just with dealing with people, dealing with situations, dealing with things, dealing with everything, not just people. Always ask yourself in the morning, why do I gotta deal with this motherfucker? Or what is this bringing me? Like a lot of, like in the financial world, they like to say an ROI, a return on investment, which it means, I'm sure you guys know what it means. Like if you put $10,000 into something and you want to make 15, that's a good return on investment. You made 15 grand off 10,000. So I look at a return on investment in anything in life. Like whatever you're doing, you need to have a return on investment. Once you have a good return on investment, that means you're dealing with shit properly. You're not just dealing. That's why I cut a lot of motherfuckers out of my life, because most people in this world aren't on this shit. You'll have people who will who will say you're not on this shit, but then their life is worse than yours, or their life ain't nowhere. They're not even getting anywhere, but then they'll complain that you're not doing something. But it's like, bitch, why don't you go and do so? Like you'll see a female, right? She'll say, "Oh, you know how those females say, oh, you're not the man that you're supposed to be," or they'll act like you're supposed to be some type of man, but then like you're supposed to fly them out to Cancun, you're supposed to buy them this fucking designer bag, I'm supposed to take you to these nice dinners and expensive dates. Like, bitch, shut your ass up. If that's what you're worthy of having, then why are you with a man that's not providing that? Why are you wasting your time complaining to a man that can't give you that? Why can't you give me this? Why don't you just leave him and go find a man that can give it to you? You know why? Because you can't, because you ain't shit. So you have to try to get somebody that probably doesn't have that. And not to say money and things mean shit, but at the same time, there's females out there who don't need that shit, who are happier, who will find that same dude that this bitch was complaining about. Because there's a female out there who doesn't need material things like this bitch, and she's more happier being with somebody like that than this bitch. So I'm like, obviously, there's nothing wrong with the man. There's something wrong with you being with the man. So go find another man that can fulfill what you want, but you can't because you're not shit. And not to say money means things and all that, but if she wants something and she can't get what she wants, then from her perspective, she isn't shit. Because whatever you want, you should be able to get if you're in the right alignment. So from her perspective, you're not shit if you can only get a man that can't provide the things that you want. So you're complaining that this man can't do this, but yet you're with the dude. Go find a dude who can get you those things. You can't, because that man doesn't want you. Because the way females work, one thing about females is when it comes to relationships and sex, females want most of the time, females want what they can't have. So a female who complains about men and they can't find a good man, it's not that they can't find one. It's just all the good men that they find, those men don't want them. And the only men that want them are the men that they don't want. So that's a symptom of a female that's out of alignment. When a man is out of alignment, more so of the time, they'll have an issue with attracting females and shit and problems with that. Not all the time, but let's just say some of the times. A female will only attract men she doesn't want, and the men that she does want, they don't want to fuck with her. Because the way the female brain is designed, They're designed like a female could be most of the time a female can be in a piece of shit position, but still desire a man that won't even want to fuck with her, but she's too stupid to realize that and will say, "Oh, there's no good men out there." No, bitch, there is good men. You're just a piece of shit. That's why. So it's like it's weird with these bitches out here, and some of these niggas they act like bitches too. You always got to keep that in mind. A lot of these niggas they act like bitches. A lot of these niggas act like bitches. Like it's crazy. But don't think that people are the way they are because it's normal. It's not that it's normal. Motherfuckers is the way they are solely because of just programming, the system, the food. It's a lot of factors that is contributing to like a lot of mental illness in society. Don't just think it's just something that just happened by chance and it's just no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. But I'm probably gonna end this live in a few minutes, and I'll be back on later. This is gonna be probably my new channel I go on until I get my new shit. Shit's crazy. Oh man. Ooh. Yeah, so it's crazy.